I fell in love with Jesus in such a pure way because he literally changed my life. But as I got older, when I got into college, I didn't want to be the Jesus girl, because in college, everyone is having a good time. People are drinking, they're smoking, and they're making it look cool. And I'm over here, trying to preach the gospel. And people it's like they just looked at me as though I was weird. But the thing is, that was my truth, and I was struggling with the vulnerability of the fact that I love Jesus. And I think even why this is even key, even as I'm highlighting this, is because we are in a time where you professing your faith, not just that you love Jesus, but what you stand for and what you are against, are things that you want to hide. And so you have people in places that they're like, I don't need to talk about this, I didn't need to say this, let them just see my life. But there are times that the Lord is like, no, be bold about who you are, make it known what you are for and what you're against. But in this time, I just felt like, no, Lord, I just want to hide. I don't really want to show people this. And all of a sudden, something began to influence me, because there was something in that atmosphere that brought agreement to a demonic influence that had been dormant in my life for so long. And then all of a sudden I said, you know what? I don't want to do this Jesus thing. I want to have fun. And it was like night and day. Something in me, it like instantly changed. All of a sudden I started having an appetite to drink. I started, back then they had this thing called flavored cigarettes. I was scared of anything that could influence my mind, like marijuana. I said, oh no, I'm not touching that. But I was like, oh, cigarettes, all right, that looks cool. British people smoke, And I started taking flavored cigarettes. We'll sit outside the dorms, like where you have your, like literally in front of people walking to class. And I thought it was cool, but I became another person. And looking back, when the Lord, by his mercy, began to show me myself, look how far you've fallen. And then I realized that I love Jesus. I was following the Lord, but I was dealing with demonic influence and I did not know it. In that moment, you're thinking that this is just me. I just want to have fun. But that spirit manifested itself when it had agreement with my way of thinking. It had been so dormant for such a long time because of things I experienced in my childhood, that when there was an opportunity to say, let me have fun, that spirit just sprung up and said, I will help you. And so there are times that you don't even realize, and I love we're having this conversation because the Lord began to show me that he is going to stir things up. He's going to bring things to memory so you realize this is not you, because you cannot be delivered of a spirit that you find identity in. Even when I talked about control earlier, that I was a controlling person, I remember my husband, the Lord telling me, your husband will heal you of things you don't understand. And I did not know that controlling personality was never my personality. It was the personality of a demonic influence.